Travel for Facebook. For a long time, I did not consider myself smart enough to possess a smartphone. I found that I was not good at multitasking. Holding my phone between my head and shoulder while washing dishes, which I realized only after spoiling two phones which fell into the sink, and not reading a book while participating in the conference call of the ladies' WhatsApp group of the fresh and hot gossipers. Even when I tried to allocate my attention 50-50 in these two major tasks, there was a difficulty in dividing the other 50%. That was because I was bombarded with notifications or alert tones of emails and SMS. On top of it, there were so many phone calls by salesmen making attractive discount offers. There was no variation in the ringtone of these alerts. If there was, I could have easily ignored them. Finally, I bought a tablet to outsmart my neighbor's phone size and keep my friends' mouths shut who had threatened to stop communicating with me if I was not their Facebook friend. Being worthy of their friendship came at a cost of having no time for my siesta or enjoying my dinner with the background music of film songs on the radio. I realized that my friends made me smart but stopped conversing with me altogether. They no longer chatted with me on phone and I missed our laughter together. They did laugh, but through the emojis readily available in texting apps. I could not boast of my cooking innovations or share with them my sob stories of how my maidservant cheated me. Along with emojis, these friends started showering coded messages ASAP, LOL, OMW, etc. I took Google's help to decode them as soon as possible, laugh out loud, and on my way. Poor souls! Perhaps they had forgotten how to write sentences. Being hardcore Fabians, most of them were saving time by only sending me their selfies. This showed me that they were dining at fabulous places and eating exotic, colorful, and well decorated dishes, which I was expected to appreciate with the likes on FB. If I did not like, I was considered as their enemy. Their selfies with food dishes affected my intake of water, as my mouth started watering at the very sight of what they were eating. There were some sending their photos taken at the Dal Lake in Srinagar, the Golden Temple of Amritsar, or the Lulu Mall in Cochin. In these photos, they would hug each other in a great filmy style, be it a casual acquaintance or their very own spouse with whom they would talk only if the need arose. So the day I retired, I decided to travel just to enable me to gather stuff for my selfies at hot destinations. None of my FB friends seem to travel by the state transport, that is ST buses or trains. They never seemed to sip tea or coconut water by the roadside. Their photos always showed them posing outside the posh leather bag shops or the jewelry shops at the airports. But for their camera, nobody knew if they were only window shopping. The commonest factor among these shoppers was that nobody ever bought a book at the one and the only bookshop at the airport. The rarest of the rare only glanced through the books, and that too if and when their flights were delayed and they had finished visiting all the remaining shops of big brands. I spent my childhood years moving about in a horse drawn tonga. Later, having spent most of my youthful years in traveling by ST buses, I realized that airports were only the sophisticated versions of ST bus stands. The same confusion of changing platforms and the jumbling of announcements. The ST employees were at least sincere in telling the passengers the real reason behind the delayed departures due to the bus breakdown or traffic jams. The airlines covered up everything under operational problems. Although the real reason varied from a lightning strike of the airline staff or congestion in the air, which meant either a traffic jam above the clouds or poor visibility due to the fog. Airport etiquette demanded that you never question the airline staff, who, in any case, would appear on the scene only at the time of flight departure. In the ST buses, we used to huddle to get inside the bus, and in the aeroplane, it was just the opposite. Passengers huddled to get out from the plane the moment there was an announcement to unfasten their seat belts. In our bus and train travel, it was a pleasure talking to the co passengers, peeping outside the window, and feasting our eyes on the life outside, from the greenery to the passers by, and waving out to them and smile. In the plane, passengers sit with grumpy faces. Nowadays, their eyes are glued to their smartphones. Some of them bother to lift their heads only while landing. Naturally, watching a love scene on a YouTube movie is more interesting than watching nothing but the clouds from their windows. My mother used to carry a big tiffin carrier on our long train journeys. Occasionally, we would buy fruits, hot salted peanuts, and the specialty sweetmeats from vendors on railway platforms. Although that tiffin carrier is still lying in my house, now it is a big no no. I can no longer carry it with me due to the 7.5 kg limit on the cabin baggage. A real reason, however, is that I feel very shy to carry homemade simple lunch when many others are seen buying attractively packed expensive food from the air hostess. In our Montessori school in a small town in Karnataka, we used to sing an action song in Kannada. It meant tuck, 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 tonga came, paw, 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 motor came to take us on a world tour. 100 years ago, the poor and the unknown songwriter could not have seen an aeroplane flying over his village. I am now planning to revise this song by adding a few more vehicles, not forgetting the rocket and the spacecraft. And of course, in the interest of my great great grandchildren, I'll add a hyperloop and all the other creations of Elon Musk. Most importantly, I have decided not to travel by air anymore. But then, how would you take care of your FB posts? You may well ask me. My dear friends, now my tablet has made me smarter. My tech savvy video editor Siddharth is more smart than I am. He will take my photo by a small lake in Pune and make it appear as if taken on the shores of the Michigan lake. Hats off to the special apps now available online.